an idiot will eat an entire shit sandwich before he complains to the chef. An open-minded person will take a bite, because they don't want to be judgmental. A smart person won't eat the sandwich at all. They'll turn it away because they know it's a shit sandwich. But a wise man walks past the restaurant because he's already done his research. This is the problem in the community right now. Agreeable, amicable team player. June of 2023, he is working the event that I'm whistleblowing at. He stated that he was there to gather information to help facilitate the FBI with arrests. Through testimony given by Dr. Greer and Danny Jones, Dr. Greer stated that Jake Barber told him he was there to potentially do wet works.
Holy shit.
There's way more people trying to slow my roll than to help me.
Yeah.
People that want to help me reach out to me. People that don't want to help me, do so privately and in the shadows, and you don't hear about it until later, or next thing you know, you get an invite on a show where everybody's polite during the booking process, but then right before you go on air, they're like, just want to let you know we're friends with Lou Elizondo. Go fuck yourself.
Cold-blooded. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Just very like, hey, we can all live in a fairyland and want all this good stuff, blah, 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 blah. But like, here's what actually happens. Here's what actually works. Here's what people do to take advantage of people. Very eye-opening character. And I still don't know if
the information that he puts out there. It's super interesting to consider that everything that he puts out's been proved, or he couldn't put it out.
Right. So, folks, we are here today with Mr. Eric Hecker. Mr. Hecker spent some time in Antarctica and became a whistleblower when he discovered that the facility he was working on was actually somewhat of a cover for a directed energy weapon. Not the kind of directed energy weapon you're thinking of, like lasers or microwaves. This is using neutrinos to actually cause earthquakes around the world. Mr. Hecker went in front of Congress. He sat in 2 separate skiffs to talk about the manual that he found and some of the facts he was able to gather while he was down there. And we are just so honored to have him on today to really give us a real whistleblower's perspective on what's going on right now with the disclosure movement, the UFO movement, the directed energy weapons movement. So we are just honored to have him on. Mr. Hecker, thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here, Gabriel.
So the neutrinos is the science they say that they are doing, but obviously they're doing other things. And I posted a picture on my X account of one of the balls and the DOMs. Yes. And I just don't know, looking at that thing and the technology that you can see inside of it, how you could say that's only capable of input. Because that's their big thing. These things are only capable of input. They just collect data. But I don't know, with that much hardware in there, how you could say there's just no way they could put any output out, right? I mean, that's the feeling I got, is that's kind of...
That's why I went even further to provide documentation to show that they have. That's how this is supposed to go. Like with whistleblowers, you bring information that can bring about an indictment level, and then the appropriate authorities dig into it. And
they're doing nothing.
No.
They're in fact, my research on it showed that they made this small little rebuttal article online and just basically said, no, the science is what the science has always been. And that was taken at face value, and there was literally no investigation done.
They're in content creation now. We get Skywatcher, we get Soul Foundation, we're getting the investments of the federal government that is now allowed to subsidize the news through the NDAA Act that was signed under the Obama administration. We're watching propaganda being manufactured.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people have, even like my folks who are always staunch news watchers are turning away because they're starting to realize it's not news anymore. It's entertainment and drug commercials. That's basically what the news is now.
I put up a post the other day and I said something to the effect of it was like an idiot will eat an entire shit sandwich before he complains to the chef. An open-minded person will take a bite, because they don't want to be judgmental. A smart person won't eat the sandwich at all. They'll turn it away because they know it's a shit sandwich.
Right.
But a wise man walks past the restaurant because he's already done his research.
Yeah. Yep.
This is the problem in the community right now.
Yes.
Everyone is sucking down shit sandwiches so fast or taking a bite of every single one that gets put in front of them.
Yeah.
Because they're not that smart and they're certainly not wise.
Yeah. And you've been around this community for a while. So, I mean, you've seen it evolve and change and, shape shift. And when do you think it was at its best?
Oh, that's an easy one. 2014, 15. There was an event, respectively, in each year called the Secret Space Program. The topic was breakaway civilization as a umbrella term. And I would say it was the last time that there was one held in San Mateo and one in Austin.
Okay.
The videos for these are available on YouTube. Just look on YouTube. It's called Secret Space Program.
We will, yeah.
And this is when we had legit research going on and documentation being presented that was showing a paper trail of monopolized high-end technology going on for decades, up into and including a breakaway civilization, like I said, a divide in society, the haves and the have-nots, but in a way that hasn't previously been considered.
Yes. For Michael Schratt.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to join all of you today. What I'd like to do for you today is give you a brief overview of some of the classified aircraft that have been developed within the military-industrial complex. I want to talk about some aircraft that might be considered UFOs, but may actually be man-made craft. It says, lunch with 5 top scientists. It was fascinating. Space truly is the last frontier. And some of the developments there in astronomy are like science fiction, except they are real. I learned that our shuttle capacity is such that we could orbit 300 people. So I want to ask all of you today, the shuttle only holds 8 astronauts. Then we've got some interesting statements made by Neil Armstrong. It says, this is July 20th, 1994 at the White House. There are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those that can remove one of truth's protective layers. There are places to go beyond belief. Neil Armstrong, 25th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing. And this is page 186, so I'm not just making this up. Professor, what really happened there on Apollo 11? Armstrong, it was incredible, of course. We'd always known there was a possibility. The fact is, we were warned off. There was never any question then of a space station or a moon city. Professor, how do you mean warned off? Armstrong, I can't go into details except to say that their ships were far superior to ours, both in size and technology. Boy, they were big and menacing. No, there is no question of a space station. So,
yes.
I think what happened then was they struck a chord so hard that that's when the disclosure community got saturated with a bunch of propagandists, both from many factions in the government, because everyone's got skin in this game. And also investment of propaganda that nobody considers also comes from the corporations. who have way more to lose if they lack control of this narrative.
Right. And they have so much power and money. And one thing that goes, that doesn't get enough credit, time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the corporation outlives us all.
Right.
And then
every administration.
Yeah. And so in legal words, in the legal realm, you'll just wait until it's time to strike. Wow.
The average mortgage payer is living day to day, week to week. These people have a long game.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot you can accomplish when you're not worried about your mortgage.
Amen, brother. Amen. I mean, it's a constant concern. Mortgage, bills, keeping the kids safe, all that stuff. It's all a part of it. And they've got us terrified of all of it, right? That we could lose all of it at any second. And that just keeps the herd moving. Interesting how that works.
It's a wonderful life.
Right. Freedom at its best. So that's when you felt like it was its best. Breakaway civilization. That's interesting because I just had an interview with Eric Mitchell. Are you familiar with Eric Mitchell at all?
It rings a bell.
Yeah, he a high amount of contact with like orbs, high strangeness, stuff like that he deals with. And he mentioned breakaway civilization too. And I had to stop and ask him because I get confused. Like, do you mean like some ancient civilization that had this technology and he said, no. This is like a group of folks now where technology is pretty much God. They're past money because they have so much of it. And they're just separate from all of us. Our rules and laws don't apply to them. Is that how you see it as well?
I think it's more complex than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just that you may be able to add antiquity to it. A lot of this stuff through, again, good researchers from that time period that I mentioned, like Walter Bosley, Joseph P. Farrell, are showing that the federal government in the United States might be involved in this conversation as far back as the 1860s.
Jesus.
So I think it's just a lot more complex, and we need to keep considering an even bigger picture. I think it's like we're climbing up the steps of the truth to get to the top of the staircase. And I think a lot of people get very comfortable on the step that they've attained and think that they've gotten to the top when they haven't yet.
Right. What if
I'm way less likely actually to adhere, I guess, to almost like any person that thinks they have it all figured out.
Oh, I'm with you there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that. Like I think, like when you say, like, if somebody's like, I think that it's this, I'm pretty much always going to say, I think it's more complex than that. I always think there's always more to this.
Yeah.
Because we have such, we're so limited on what we can see. Right.
Right. And by our thoughts.
Yeah. And I use this one for so much stuff. Like I use the analogy of like, imagine the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Okay. And you can imagine it because you've seen it, right? And the images of it at the very least, right? And you understand it to be super complex and intricate, right? Okay. But now imagine if you had never seen it. Okay. And I went to this great edifice and I chipped off a teeny little corner of the stone and I brought that to you. And I said, here's all that you can observe of the creation. Now tell me, from this perspective, I want you to tell me everything else about the structure and its creator.
Right. Yeah.
What are the odds of you being anywhere near accurate?
Right. I'm going to maybe mention some posts and
not even possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's funny for us in our limited perspective of the creation that we're in to act like we know much about it or whatever the creation process was, where our views too limited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Science knows that. Science
Oh
knows
yeah.
it.
Yeah. If you, so I just get the science updates on my phone now. I turn off all the political updates and stuff. So I get these really cool popular science articles and popular mechanics and all that stuff. And God, they are just getting crazy. Like one said,
Yeah.
"Are we in a black hole? Is there?"
Well, there's so many ways to look at this.
All around
There's
us.
so many simple ways to reduce this. It cracks me up, right? And this is why I love arguing with physicists and scientists, because they're like, blah, blah, blah. Dark matter and dark energy are two terms that basically, it's like number sets, right? You take a whole bunch of stuff and it fits in a category.
Yeah.
Dark
Right.
energy and dark matter are terms for sets of everything that we just don't know. We're still trying to understand dark matter and dark energy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let's use a synonymous, and we're also told that dark matter and dark energy make up the vast majority of everything in creation.
Right. Right.
So replace those terms with another science-like symbols, right? Let's replace the terms dark matter and dark energy with a symbol everyone's familiar with. A question mark.
Right.
That's all. Which represents that which we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the vast majority of the cosmos is made up of question marks.
Yes.
Things we absolutely do not know.
No clue.
And we know that. And then we try to make decisions, right? So can those things we don't know have bearing and or impact on the things that we do know? Well, of course they could.
Yeah.
Right? So technically all of the things that we're watching can just be interactions of things we'll never observe.
Right.
Right? Where ripples in an ocean in a pond that had a pebble dropped in it, and we can't ever see the pond or the pebble.
Yeah.
But we will live suffering the wave activity regardless.
Right. And it's and plugged into this huge network that is people, and that whole thing. It's like that is a part of us. We can't get away from the social aspect of it. As long as there's been more than one, person, like there's been people. That's what we do. We get together. So very interesting. And
like a bunch of rogue waves bouncing around in the cosmos.
Yeah. It makes me think of, I don't know if you saw like the Matthew Brown post where he posted all that crazy stuff about some kind of magic sigils or something. Did you catch that?
I noticed that Matthew Brown put out a lot of propaganda recently, yes.
It's very weird. It's almost like he's saying there's this other art, whatever you would call it. I don't know what name to give it. Dark art.
I would call it the art of magic.
Whatever you want to call it.
I would call it the art of magic and deception. And I would say that he does it really well. It's called sleight of hand. Like, look over here, look over there. Yeah. He sure got a lot of people to look in his direction.
Absolutely. I was one of them. And you think so it's, you get cautious there when you see something like that?
Do I get cautious? No, I just look at it as utter complete bullshit. I don't understand how people give it credence for a half a second. It's retarded.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the.
I'm sorry. So apparently you looked into it. Give me the two pieces of actionable intelligence he provided.
So the story goes,
No, I don't want to hear the story. The story. I want the cliff notes. What are the two pieces of actionable intelligence that you gleaned from his propaganda?
The main one would be Immaculate Constellation. That leak. Like, he was responsible for that leak.
That's not actionable intelligence. That's somebody trying to get glory for something that was already known about.
Well, no, he leaked that. Like the whole thing about the Russian triangle, the Russian subs and battleships that were out in the Pacific, and a black triangle came out of nowhere.
So the actionable intelligence is that he leaked it?
I guess so. Yeah, I
Because
guess
Immaculate Constellation was known to exist prior to him admitting that he was the leak, right? Because it was leaked
Right.
prior to him admitting that. So
he found it. Yeah, he found
so
it.
the actual intelligence already existed publicly, and the only thing that he was doing was take. It was.
Well, he leaked it, and then nobody was doing anything. So then he came out.
He went right. He leaked it. It was available. There were people that were very cognizant of its existence, having leaked.
Yes.
Right. So the fact that the audience once again wasn't paying enough attention. It had been leaked. It was available public, albeit not many people paying attention. So then the only thing that he did was come out to try to promote it.
Yes.
And take credit by applying now credentials to it.
Yes.
Which is how the propaganda machine works. When their information isn't absorbed fast enough, they double down, full court press, pick your term.
Damn. So what's the game there, do you think?
He, when he came out public, provided no more actionable intelligence, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
It became a back patting party again.
Right. Right. That's a very
believe me. I believe him because I can say what he's saying is true, and then the other guy go and you believe him because I can say what he says is true.
Right. Right.
But yet nobody there provided any actual intelligence. Oh, by the way, the existence of Immaculate Constellation. What was the action somebody should have taken after that was presented?
I mean, if I was on some type of House Intelligence Committee,
let's say you had all the weight in the world, and they brought Immaculate Constellation to you, and were like, Gabriel, did you know this was going on? You would then say, you know what we need to do?
We need to find all the USAT programs and find out who's running them. That's how I look at it. Like, because I feel like there's got to be gatekeepers in that area, right? Because all this money's going there, so there has to be somebody saying, "You get this money, you get that money." I feel like if you can find one of those people that's willing to talk, maybe the
stuff that they keep dangling out from supposed whistleblowers is what they call a limited hangout, because there's really no activity to take.
Right. No action that you can do, like you're saying. Yeah. That's a fantastic
point. Give them some crumbs from the table of truth.
Right. Right. Like Elizondo said. Yeah, Elizondo says every good blanket of lies is held together by threads of truth. That was
wouldn't he know?
It hit me that hard when he said it, because it was him that said it. I was like, wow,
I believe also if you need brushing up on how to torture people and waterboard them, that Lou's probably a good go-to guy.
Yeah, major hero.
It's, most of the stuff being talked in disclosure circles have been talked about for decades and published.
Yeah.
Adventures Unlimited Press is a company that's been around for decades, and I would say prior to the internet, that was the go-to organization for alternative information.
Yeah,
and I see a lot of people out there talking about stuff that's been in print from Adventures Unlimited Press for decades.
Yeah,
and they're all acting like it's new.
Well, and another thing I don't like hearing is, well, they just want to write a book, and it's like, well, until recently, like that was how you got this information out, right? You wrote the book, other people read the book. That's how they did their research. So I don't really like the instant hate because it's not like you become
I totally agree with you. Like I didn't want to write a book, don't want to write a book, but I'm going to have to write a book.
Yeah. I mean,
those are the facts of the matter, because the digital world is completely censored, throttled. It just is what it is. There's freedom of speech isn't free anymore.
Absolutely. You got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then you got to play the game.
Even if let's say I had a book written right now on my desk, right?
Right.
how does that even help me help everybody? Like, I still have to then figure out, like, well, how the fuck do I get it on a bookshelf in a book? Like,
Yep. Yep.
you know,
It's the whole thing. And like, and I was talking to Brian Jackson one time, and he said, talk to one of these ufologists about how their book is doing money wise. Like, it's not,
yeah.
they're not getting rich off of the books they're writing, I promise.
Yeah, everybody thinks this, like, like you're gonna get YouTube rich, or blah.
Yeah.
Nah,
No.
it's
No.
like
To me,
4
it's
people that got YouTube rich, and the rest are just really great editors that pretend.
right. Yeah, there's lots of people that buy the lottery ticket. There's a couple that win. Yeah, I mean, to me, I like when I first started my channel, it was about business. It was about, oh, I'm going to provide local news, and then I'll maybe drum up some real estate business. Nobody cared. Like nobody, nobody cared about local news. And so I was like, well, I'm going to start talking about what I want to talk about.
They want to hear about people getting their arms chopped off by crab aliens.
It's insane. It's insane. And then when I started covering this stuff, you start at that superficial level, because it takes a while to kind of do the deep dives and the research, and you make the connections and start talking with people about how things really are. And it's like a community that has been abused. I mean, it is
But it's the whole
crazy.
world now. It's like that's what the MK Ultra program of old has accomplished, is that now everybody's getting traumatized and
Yeah,
abused on every level, and nobody can even pay attention that this shouldn't be how things are.
I agree.
The only people that should be getting abused in these conversations is the people that show up with bullshit. I mean, that's like the way it used to be, right? Like, if everybody's just chilling out in the kitchen in the neighborhood, hanging out, talking and stuff like that. If one dude just starts spewing crap, like, everyone's like, guy, shut up.
Yep, exactly.
Like, there's just zero tolerance.
But now that guy needs a voice, Eric.
Right.
He needs a safe space.
Everybody's opinion has value.
No.
What? What? Apparently there are people out there that have never heard anyone spew crap
Yeah.
and had to call them out for it immediately.
Yeah.
Because I guess that activity can't possibly happen. It's not possible for someone with bad intentions to lie, spew tons of crap, to try to disrupt.
And you did, you were involved in the Stargate stuff, right? Back when you were younger.
Unfortunately, yeah.
How did you, and I'm not going to make you try to relive any of that, but what helped you kind of recover from that? Like, how did you get out of that mindset, or have you?
I guess I would say I haven't. That was a very presumptuous question.
I think you have, because I think if you hadn't, you wouldn't have blown the whistle about the Antarctica stuff. That's my feeling anyway, is that that required some autonomy and honestly some balls, almost as big as those DOMs to come out. And
I think that probably has way more to do with my motive than being healed. It was probably more of a rage action.
Okay. Hey, some of the most innovative stuff comes out of rage and anger. So
I love the Rage Against the Machine line from one of their songs. Anger's a gift.
It is.
It's an emotion. No, right? We're all supposed to use our emotions and have them regulated. Right? Nobody would tell you should never love.
Right. Right. But they'll
certainly
tell you,
if you love at the wrong time, you're going to put yourself in harm's way.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. So nobody should ever tell you should never be angry.
I agree.
But certainly you should keep your anger in check and use it appropriately at the right times.
Yeah.
But we should never be without anger. Anger is a gift.
Absolutely.
Anger moves men to action.
Yes. It can be.
That's what it's for.
Straight rocket fuel.
Right? If you're walking down the street with your wife, holding hands, having a wonderful day, and somebody walks up and smacks her in the face, if you're not angry, you're not angered at that moment. right? Are you wrong for being angry at that moment?
Exactly. If you're not angry, it's time to check yourself
Right?
because
Are you supposed to love that person? Is that when you turn? Should you just grab her and say, "Honey, hold on, I'm going to turn the other cheek for you"?
right, exactly. He must just be having a bad day.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
He's of the opinion that that cheek needed smacking, and everybody's opinion matters.
Right, right. We must hear all voices. That's hilarious. So yeah, okay. Well, so you feel like it's still kind of haunting you in ways. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
I mean, they call it the formative years for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel like I got formatted.
Jesus. I can imagine. Well, I can't even imagine. I really can't. I think in my childhood it was just normal.
Consideration is sufficient.
Yeah, yeah. What now? Was there ever a point where you spoke with your parents about like the weirdness?
Oh yeah, I've spoken with my father about it in great depth.
Yeah. What are some things he thought about it?
He's not happy that it happened on his watch and
Oh, sure.
went under his radar.
Yeah, that's dad's duty right there, right? I can imagine. Um, wow. Yeah, I'm trying to let that sit with me because it's like I think about one of my biggest like terrors is not having control of your own thoughts and your own inner monologue. Like that
Mhm.
terrifies me
Mhm.
more than like being lit alive to death.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I brought up on the Sean Ryan show is this concept of intrusive thoughts.
Right.
We have all kinds of research that supports that this technology has been around for a long time.
Yeah. And you can see it like there's patents out there you can publicly
Right.
search about
And that's
mind.
here in the U.S. That's here in the U.S. Right. So let's consider that the technology's been around for let's consider 4 decades. Okay. You think our enemies wouldn't be trying to use this? Like, you think our country wouldn't be concerned that our enemies might be doing this?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
If Chinese communist propaganda technology tolerated an effort to put their propaganda as intrusive thoughts into your head at night while you sleep 3 decades ago, would they try that? Would we need our side to be working a way against that? Would we then start taking our technology and working offensively with it also? Could we possibly be in the throes of directed energy weapons warfare investment, intention, application for decades? Are you already suffering the battlefield of intrusive thoughts in your mind for most of your life?
I think so. I mean,
It's a worthy conversation. If like the research papers show that they started investing in this stuff way back when and have been making accomplishments all the while. I mean, come on.
yeah. So I was researching the old MK Ultra cases, and I watched some video of some of the female victims that came forward and spoke about their experiences. And one of them had said when she was, I think it was 9 years old, that they were using a mixture of drugs, electroshock therapy, and hypnosis to try to convince her and train her to seduce grown men at 9 years old so that they could then record this interaction and get powerful men in compromising positions on record. And I thought, Christ, at 9 years old. And then my brain jumped immediately to Epstein. I mean, that's what they were doing, right? In my opinion, that's what they were doing. They said they had cameras everywhere. This crazy, powerful group of folks keeps going out there. You have all this testimony from these young women that were brought out there and taken advantage of, and I almost feel like Epstein was a successful MK Ultra operation. Like
Mhm.
that's what they were going
look
for.
Look at the case of Kathy O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government paid her, right? She won her case, settled, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
She got paid, not because she was lying.
Yep.
They don't pay you if you're lying.
It's like there's just no depth that they won't sink to maintain the power.
Right.
It just makes me want nothing to do with power.
Right. Right. But this. So like, I'm actually really happy that you brought this connection, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the least common denominator, right? We got to reduce things down to, like, the culprit at the foundation for most of these super nefarious stuff is either completely involved with or right next to
All the time.
child trafficking.
Yeah.
So it's such proximity.
Yes.
It's in the red zone for conversations completely.
Yeah. Yeah. And then and the stuff coming out about kidnapping children from natural disasters and teaching them psionics and holy shit, man.
The stuff Jake Barber says blows my mind because he keeps referring to them as captives / recruits. I think he should have to say the names of the associates he was involved with when he was trafficking the captive / recruits.
I agree. Yeah. And there was that gentleman that that spoke during, I think it was at the Greer function that you were at, about the black craft in the middle of the forest they came across, and the soldiers intervened and had them lower their weapons, and he thought it was drugs they were transporting, and it might have been children that they were transporting in this thing.
That's correct. And Michael Herrera at the time didn't know. He didn't know what he saw at the time. Yeah. It was at the DC event that Jake Barber reached out to Michael Herrera to try to get his hooks in him. And that's when Barber told Herrera that it was human trafficking.
Right. And he has said that.
And then later on, Barber contacted Herrera again and changed it to psionic assets.
There's some fuckery going on there. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's weird.
Right.
That's weird. Yeah.
So prior to June of 23, Jake Barber admittedly was involved in the programs.
Right.
Okay. Right. That's what we know from his public statements.
Yep.
Active participant. Funding his livelihood on it. Agreeable, amicable team player. June of 2023, he is working the event that I'm whistleblowing at. He stated that he was there to gather information to help facilitate the FBI with arrests. Through testimony given by Dr. Greer and Danny Jones, Dr. Greer stated that Jake Barber told him he was there to potentially do wet works.
Holy shit.
This is who he was up until that day. His testimony given publicly on the Jesse Michaels show and other places was that when fellow Marine Michael Herrera gave his testimony, he was so moved that he had to contact him.
Really? So that's how that story went down.
What was the amazing intel in Michael Herrera's story that was so compelling for him to throw away everything he had invested in up until that day?
Yeah.
Especially since everything that Michael stated was something that Barber said he had seen before and worked with anyway.
The egg? I'm just kidding.
Well, Herrera made no mention of what he had for breakfast that day.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You know, but this is a joke. This is a total joke.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm a tradesman. Okay. So here's also details. Details matter. The connecting point for the compelling testimony from Herrera to Barber was that Herrera saw the transport connexes, the mill vans, the containers, shipping containers. They had gear on the top. Herrera believed that, since drugs, maybe some sort of reefer equipment or something to that effect. I get that. Barber said, that's exactly what it is. Let me confirm that for you. So we have a Marine and a helicopter pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I guess, way out of their wheelhouse. Because I'm a tradesman. I'm a tradesman. If I sent an HVAC guy out there to service that piece of equipment.
Right.
And he was like, Eric, I'm on scene. I'm looking at the thing right now. Okay. If I haven't seen it yet, how can I go copy that? I know exactly what you're looking at.
Right. Right. It's ridiculous.
It's completely ridiculous.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen that thing.
Right. But I know.
Or now back into the grand scheme of false connections here, right? Or do we just have two dudes that both know that metal boxes can have stuff on top? So one dude's like, metal box with stuff on top? Oh, totally. I've seen a metal box with stuff on top. I mean, you can outfit connexes so many different ways. You can have heating systems. You can have cooling systems. You can have combination systems. You can have them with shore power, without shore power. You can have a humidification system that has nothing to do with, there's so many different ways to fit these things, okay? What I can tell you is no matter how you outfit them, a shipping container is not for people.
Right.
Captives/recruits. These weren't actual personnel transport. Why did they have to put them in a shipping container before they put them in the UFO? Did they have seats? There's no seats.
What do you think it was? You got any hunches?
Probably child trafficking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably the tsunami was started by directed energy weapons.
Jesus.
Which people keep loosely alluding to the possibility of that, but not directly confronting.
Right. It's a cute thing they kind of dance around because they don't want to ruffle any real feathers. Absolutely. Shit, man.
They'll say things like, these types of programs that go into these areas, that havoc has been wreaked, possibly by application, natural disasters, there's a motive. If you have a weapon that can cause a catastrophe, and you have organizations that are going to come help everyone.
Right. Right.
Well, apparently, even in Barber's testimony, he seems to have an affinity, they're helping these people out, which I've seen from elite people before.
Yes. Yeah, I remember
these people living in their bamboo huts were offering them hot meals and a chance to advance their intellect through consciousness studies that they might survive.
Yeah, and even in our own country, the New Orleans floods, where Barbara Bush is at the Superdome saying, "Oh, these people should be happy. They're getting a Visa card with $700."
Right.
No, they're sleeping in a Superdome. They're not happy with a $700 gift card. But they're so unplugged from what reality actually is for the rest of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's crazy. So, who do you think, in the current kind of disclosure movement, is there anyone you I guess you can't trust anyone 100%, but are there folks that you trust more than others that are out there?
Right. Well, it's a great way to put the question. I'm going to answer it this way. I don't like having to trust people. I don't trust people.
Yeah.
Facts are facts. In that regard, though, the information, there are people that are doing good research. And I trust their research and information. Those people would be Daniel List. He does a YouTube channel called Dark Journalist. As mentioned earlier, Walter Bosley does extensive research, has a plethora of books that he's authored. Also, Joseph P. Farrell crazy research, all kinds of stuff put in print. I mean, everybody loves the X-Files, right? Right. Guess what, folks? The truth is out there. Remember that?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You lazy mother effers, read a book.
But they're just trying to make money off books, Eric.
Yeah. Go to the library, get an old book. Buy a book from someone who's dead. That way you don't feel like there's profiteering going on.
There you go.
There was a time when I was a voracious reader and I was targeting old books.
Yeah.
That's another thing. People are accustomed to it on the internet, right? Things get edited in 2 seconds. 3 days later, there's been 14 revisions.
Oh god, yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
And then it's been made into
So
a
knowledge.
AI
So
short
knowledge
video.
disappears. That's called editing.
Yeah.
It's not edited as a really old book.
Mm.
You'll find a truth that was spoken prior to editing.
Yeah.
Go check out some old books.
Who's your favorite nonfiction writer? Or I'm sorry, fiction. Who's your favorite fiction writer? Fiction. I know nonfiction.
I guess I would say Tolkien, because I almost never read fiction. Almost never. That's been a thing my entire life.
Me too. Very few and far between.
Yeah. I've read some
yeah, he's
really, really, really dry nonfiction books.
Well, so let's go there.
I have followed avenues of thought that people look at me sideways. Like I read one of my favorite books was once. It was called I can't remember the author, but it was called A History of Pi, the mathematical formula.
Okay.
And that's the way I've researched a lot of stuff. Is I look at things, but I guess I would say I study the history of the concept, because a lot of times how we've looked at things has changed through the years. And this book, A History of Pi, was amazing because what it showed was that through the generations, society has harbored a changing value for pi. So sometimes it's 3.14. How they represent it has changed a little bit here and there. And what this book showed was that even the alternating representation would come and go. And they were showing how when a certain value of pi was this, society functions like this. When society uses this representation, they have a tendency to function like this.
That is wild. I would have never thought. Would have never crossed my mind.
Yeah, there's so many different ways of looking at life and paying attention to stuff. Again, to Mark Twain, he says, there's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's statistics.
Yeah. Statistics are an interesting one. Whenever somebody starts speaking in statistics, I get a little nervous because
they're trying to convince you of something.
Yes, I did car sales in my young life for about 6 months, and I was told back. Yeah, and I was told back that 80%, 87% of all statistics are completely made up. So I've been very weary of statistics ever since then. Okay. Yeah, very interesting. So, okay, you're in the South Pole. Your plane lands. It's your first day. Did you just fall back in the ice and just stare at the sky forever? I mean, you're like at the end of the earth almost, right?
It is. It's 90 degrees south. It is it's the butthole of the planet.
The rectum of the planet.
It's rectacular. I did not get a chance to build an appreciation for the environment right away. Literally moment one, like when the C-130 LC-130 Hercules landed on deck and the door opened, get hit with minus 50 degree temperatures and almost no oxygen. Immediately, that's the amount. You're at 9,300 feet of elevation, and the door opens. So here's exactly how it happened. The door opens. I go to exit the plane. There's an airman there as you exit the door. He's outside the door.
Right.
Okay. This is an LC-130 Hercules. The propellers are spinning.
Right.
Okay. And this
So they
is
don't freeze, right? If they stop, they could.
well, yeah, they just keep this thing. They keep it humming.
Yeah.
Right. So we gotta exit the door. And as I exit, he looks me square in the eyes and he goes, "Make a right." And I was like, "Do you think I was gonna hang a left and walk into the prop?" And then I immediately thought, my first thought was, because I've been in the trades and I know these things, right? And I'm like, the reason this guy is standing here and had to say that is because someone once made a left.
Somebody did it.
Right? That was literally like my welcome to South Pole Station was like, fuck. You know?
Oh man.
People walk into props around here and I'm already tagged like I look like a moron.
They think of one of the guys that's gonna turn into the props.
Yeah. So then I make a right. And they had already brought around our Air Force pallet with our gear on it. And like I said, it was minus 50 degrees out.
I can't even think straight.
I can't breathe. I can't anything. I'm trying to walk across the ice to get to my gear because we're supposed to manhole it, carry it inside.
Right.
And I'm maybe, I'd say, 100 yards from the facility. There were people that had wintered there. I'm in full extreme cold weather gear.
Yeah.
Dying.
Yes, I would be too.
And I look and I see this young woman, a girl, probably in her late 20s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
She has a long sleeve T-shirt on, a Scully, no jacket whatsoever. Just comes strutting from inside the facility, like running across the ice, grabbing big duffel bags and stuff. This girl's probably like 5'8", 120.
Wow.
And she's just hauling stuff. And obviously she's from the winter over crew, completely acclimated.
Right.
Minus 50s roasting.
That's
and
insane.
She's hauling this stuff. Like she's totally acclimated. She's carrying, and I remember looking and I was like, I wonder what she would say if I said, "Can you carry me inside?"
Just throw me over your shoulders.
Yeah. Like I was imagining like that. Like if I could talk her into throwing me over her shoulder right now.
When? How long did it take you to get kind of acclimated? Do you think was it weeks? Months?
I mean, acclimated took a really long time. Functional is different.
Yeah.
Acclimated took a really long time. But you learn to, work smart, and you have to pause. The first actual repair that I did, couple to a few days in, like when you first get there, they tell you like, don't do anything, acclimate. Follow your crew, watch, learn, unlock doors, flip light switches, but we don't want you like killing yourself. You can keel over and die from high altitude pulmonary embolisms at any moment.
Wow. That's insane.
So proceed with caution. But the first repair that I did was in the first floor bathroom was a leak coming through the ceiling from the second floor bathroom. And I went and grabbed a sheetrock saw, a hand tool. And I get up on the ladder and I start trying to cut the sheetrock, boom, 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 boom. And 2 seconds in, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, let me try that. And at that time I was 36 years old. Rock solid tradesman. Like I know myself. I know what I can do. Like this should not be taxing me in that
right.
all.
Right.
And it's killing me. And I'm like,
let me
try that again. I try to cut the sheetrock again. And I just turned to I'm like, get me a Sawzall. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that cold weather's crazy. It'll get you out the hot weather.
It's the lack of oxygen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They said that if we were to actually have our blood tested, our O2 levels would be so low that, like, if we lived in the United States, we would qualify to be on like the 24-hour free oxygen program. Like, we'd be on oxygen 24 hours a day at those levels, and it would be just covered. Like, that's just like
wow.
So such little oxygen.
How long were you there before you got bored and started tiptoeing around and checking out files.
Oh, checking stuff out was an ongoing thing from day one. I mean, I knew there
Yeah.
was going to be nooks and crannies, and I knew I had profound access.
Yeah.
I mean, having a key at the South Pole was a big deal.
And I imagine the security there is minimal, right? Like,
None.
I'm sure there's security, but
the only official security team that we had was when the emergency alarms would go off.
Right.
Okay. I was on Team 2 Fire Brigade. I had a high role on that team. Team 1 was what we would call the first responders. So when the alarms would go off, I would run to my gear locker and start putting on my bunker gear, SCBA, and all that stuff. Team 1 would go immediately to the site of the problem that was reported to start confirmation and intel.
Right.
In
so
that
you
process,
basically are the security.
it was my crew. We so and in reality, Team 1 was securing the scene to keep everyone else out but me.
Right.
They were prepping the scene for my arrival.
Okay.
Right. So like when I was part of the fire brigade team, my part was that when anything went wrong, the whole rest of the crew cordoned off the area so I could go in and figure out how to fix it.
Yeah. Well, it's a super
I'm a moron plumber right? The whole audience likes to call me the moron plumber, right?
Oh, fuck them. They're stupid.
Right? But yet when shit hit the fan at that facility, everybody basically was rolling out the red carpet for me to rectify the problem. That's reality.
Yeah.
That was my job.
That reminds me of a quote from a video you gave that I had to write it down because I fucking loved it so much. You said, doctors they treat disease while plumbers prevent it. It was just so awesome. I had to write it down. People they have these mental like, oh, this person's at this level, this person's at this level. We're all just fucking people. Just because one person went to school for 8 years and learned this one particular trade, it doesn't really make them any more intelligent than anybody else. Let's be real.
Of course not.
In fact, sometimes it makes them dumber because
statistically speaking, 50% of the people in any profession are below average.
Right. And they don't have that street smarts because they're spending the whole time.
Statistically, that would be 50%.
That's shocking.
That's a lot of people, right? Statistically speaking, 50% of the people in any profession are not as good at what they do. They're below average.
Yes. And if you don't,
how do you know when you go anywhere to get assistance from anyone, is that person good at what they do?
Right. And I was just going to say, if you don't believe that, like, just think of how important it is to have a good doctor in your life.
Right.
Think about when you find that good doctor, how much you brag about that good doctor you found because there's so many crappy doctors.
50% of them are below average.
Yep.
What percentage of them are in the 50 to 75 percentile? How many doctors are in the top 10 percentile?
They're not helping us.
Right.
Those are the privately hired doctors. Yeah.
Is it possible the world's best plumber can be smarter than the world's dumbest doctor?
It's 100% possible. It's 1,000% possible. Yeah. So you don't even have to creep. You're just observing. Where was this? Was this manual kind of like tucked away somewhere? Was it?
That's available. It's available online.
Oh shit! And
it's public.
And it goes over the actual.
It's always like thousands of pages of like, this is the ice cube neutrino detector.
Yeah. Well, I've pulled up the one that they had online and looked through it. And I mean, I don't have the doctorates or the technical know-how. So there's a lot of skimming. The part that you referenced, though, the part where it can be activated, like, how did you find that? Just by reading
I was directed to it.
Okay.
No. I mean, this is through communications and figuring things out, and my crew and I have, discussed things since our time there, and we've come to learn things, and in that process, I came to learn of the existence of this page in that book. Fabulous.
Shocking. And you kind of figured it out after your rotation was done, right?
Mhm.
Like you got
Correct.
back, kind of getting back to your normal life.
Mhm.
Did
Yeah,
you?
my crew started communicating about the negative health impacts that they were undergoing.
And you felt them too?
Mhm.
Fuck. And is there anybody helping you all with that?
Not really.
Have
No,
you
not
have you
enough.
reached out to like Dr. Gary Nolan or other folks that are kind of in that field?
Isn't Gary Nolan with that? Isn't he with like Eric Davis and Elizondo and them?
Um, I don't know. I really don't
Isn't he
know.
sitting on the same dais as them?
I know they are affiliated with some of the same groups. But I feel like Gary Nolan is kind of his own guy. Like he'll affiliate.
Okay. I guess I don't know him that well.
But well, he's responsible for a lot of the cases that Sheehan's working right now through the judicial system where they're trying to sue the government for these health impacts that these soldiers have suffered from interactions with UAP or paranormal stuff. That's working its way through the courts, and Nolan is doing a lot of the actual like scientific biological testing, like proving out the negative impacts this stuff had on these people. So I was just curious if he had reached out to you or maybe even someone else in that field.
He hasn't reached out to me. A lot of people have reached out to me. Those interactions don't go well.
No shit. Like
Yeah, I mean,
doctors that have the equipment to see if there's something to this.
no, the people in the disclosure community that are running the circus. They wanted me to join the circus.
Yeah. They wanted you to
That's why I like, yeah,
go on the circuits
through
and
the
do
through the
speeches.
back channels, right? That's all the rage for the kids to say these days.
Oh God.
Through the back channels, I was reached out to by Jake Barber, Ross Coulthart,
Right.
the usual suspects, right?
Right. Now
To join the team, we support what you're doing. We need you to know that we support what you're doing, and we know what you're saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
And we're thinking about working with you, and all that stuff, right? This is how it goes. This is what happens behind the scenes, right? And then I go, and then what I go and say is, I appreciate the statement of support. My information does stand on its own. If you have more information, I would appreciate anything that you have to connect to it. My information, if what you're saying is true, then you don't need to connect my information to it. Right? It should stand on its own.
Yeah.
If you have connections from your information to my information that I don't know, by all means, let me know. Right? These are the types of things that happen in these conversations, right? Because they're just simply trying to get their hooks in and make everything connect when there's not necessarily connections. But I can see it, I can smell it, I can taste it. So what winds up happening in these exchanges is I then tell them, okay, now that we've covered all this stuff, I said, so now you had a story that you wanted to connect to mine. What proof do you have?
Crickets.
Right, and then they don't want to talk to me anymore. So they wanted me to be agreeable.
Yes. Yeah.
They wanted me to join the circus. They wanted to know we'll advertise for you. You advertise for us.
Okay.
Marketing. I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Oh, I
marketing.
know.
It's marketing. I've seen marketing. I went once for a blast, and it was so educational. I recommend everybody goes and sits down at a Primerica insurance scam.
And that's going to be new. People are going to talk about you. People are going to say you're not going to do it. People are going to laugh at you. People are going to be your best friend when you're not doing anything with yourself. The minute you get it going, the minute you go, they're going to talk about it. I mind my own business. I don't look left. I don't look right. I look up.
Oh shit. Okay.
Primerica, when they do their little like, you too can be rich.
Yes, they're almost as good as the timeshare guys, right?
Yes, they're way
Yes.
better than the timeshare guys. Shut
Yeah.
your mouth. Primerica has it down. If you want to see brainwashing in action and editing and filtering and a masterful stagecraft,
Yes.
go sit down at one of these Primerica things. You'll learn a lot, and you'll start to see it in other avenues when these people take these skill sets
Yeah.
and just put them in other forums and formats. They're using the same techniques.
What do we do, Eric? How do we
Crowd
stay
control.
on
It's
the
crowd
right?
control. Primerica will teach you crowd control in real
Oh,
time.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what those guys do. They are propagandist crowd control experts.
Yeah. Yeah. Off topic, but if you have some spare time on your hands and you have a Netflix account, I'm not a huge fan of the artist himself, but they made this documentary called Astroworld about the kind of nightmare that happened at this show that this artist Travis Scott put on in Houston. And it had to do with the way they filled the crowd into the viewing areas, where you had basically one half of the crowd was filled too far, and the other half of the crowd had a lot of space. So the artist is thinking everything's fine because he's looking over at the left side of the crowd and everything's good. On the right side of the crowd, people are literally dying. I mean, it was just crazy. He's going on singing his music and everything's fine. And it was just such an eye opener to, like, for me anyway, to like perception, right? If it's not affecting you, if it's not killing you and those people around you, hell yeah. But if you're on that other side, man, you're climbing up the benches to the cameraman screaming help, you're screaming at the singer. And it's like, I feel like that's where we're at in this American society right now. There's half of the society that's totally fine with the way things are. Like, let's just on chugging.
It's all about the optics. It's all about how
Yeah.
it looks, not how it is.
Yes. Yes.
Our society is currently very much, by definition, a Clockwork Orange.
God, that's terrifying because that book is scary as shit.
It can look nice on the outside, but it's dysfunctional and rotten at the core.
Yeah. I mean, what is that book? It's not a big book. It's like 100 and something pages. It's not a huge book, but it is frightening. It is frightening. Yeah. It's like, did you ever read Aldous Huxley?
I don't think so. I did read A Clockwork Orange. I'm not just the moviegoer on that one.
Yep, I did too. I saw the movie first, full disclosure, and then I was like, well, I have to read this book because I felt like the movie must have been leaving things out, and it did.
Oh,
yeah, and the book is way better, as usual.
I got very lucky. One of the courses that I took in high school, I had such a weird child. I had a course in high school. It was called The Future of Man.
What the fuck?
I went to Catholic. Yeah, dude, I went to a very rigid Catholic school. So I'll be honest, I have no idea how this one got slipped into my curriculum.
Okay.
I took I took the course because I heard you watch movies in there.
Sure. Yeah.
You get to watch movies in the future.
Easy A.
Yeah. Twist up a fatty, cut class before that one, you know. But then I found out we had to read the book first. I was so pissed. It's like I thought it was going to be this totally easy class where we just watch movies, and I totally got rooked because whoever convinced me of that knew the book part but didn't tell me.
Right.
So I got to the class, and it was like, no, we read the book first, and then we go over the movie, and then we discuss everything and the discrepancies and all. And it was an amazing class. And I wound up reading. I read every one of the books. They were great books. We did Barry Lyndon, 2001. We did A Clockwork Orange. I think we did Full Metal.
School, you're reading A Clockwork Orange,
dude, and we were having wild conversations about all this stuff.
Fascinating. Yeah. 2001.
Read the book. The movie's worthless.
Oh God, yeah, that's scary.
The book's insane. What's going on in there?
Yeah.
Like the movie has 4 minutes of Neanderthals and a monolith in the beginning.
Mhm.
The book has like 12 chapters on like Neanderthal civilization.
Oh my God. Well, now I'm
It's
gonna
like,
have to, yeah,
you know,
now I'm gonna have to check it out because
yeah,
that's one where I've just done the movie.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
a terrifying movie.
Go read 2001. Yeah.
I will. Damn authors and their billions of dollars. Um, I say that, and see, I can say that in jest because my sister's an author, and she
There
has
you
this
go.
shit. It's like
Yeah.
she has her day job, and the author thing is like just a passion thing. Like, and so
Yeah.
when I hear people talking about, oh, he's making a book, I just laugh. I'm like, you don't understand the amount of work that person's putting into that book because they want their children and their grandchildren to read that book. The amount of work they're putting into that book far surpasses like any kind of profit they're going to get unless they're writing the next War and Peace or something, right? But most books, they're hot for a second and then they, you see them on somebody's bookshelf 20 years later all crinkled up, and that's how books work. So yeah, that's whenever I hear that in this community I just laugh because, and the other side of it is like, where do you think you got the data that you have? Do you think Betty and Barney Hill, did they make a YouTube video? Nope. they recorded it on like cassette tapes and then they wrote a book about it. Like that's what you did. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. It just bothers me to high hell, all right. National Science Foundation. You've had this experience and now I will say I read their rebuttal to I think they felt they needed to write it after your Sean Ryan appearance because I think that just had too many views. Right now you're on Sean Ryan level. Ah, shit, we got to address this. But the rebuttal was very just plain and like, well, it just does what we said it always does. And
I
the rebuttal.
I wouldn't expect anything else from them unless people thought that they were going to come out and be like, God damn that Hecker busted us.
Well, I would have. So, from my perspective, so being a complete layman to this, I would have thought they would have at least had some scientific data to show, like, hey, these things are only capable of input because X, Y, Z. They didn't do any of that. It was just like, nope, this
can't because they took a page out of their book that says they're lying.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck. So what you can and anybody else can observe in the community, right, from the years that I've been public, right? Nobody challenges me; they just ignore me.
Right. Or they call you an asshole.
Right. Yeah. Character assassination all day long. Yeah, absolutely, all day long. Right, because what comes from the other direction, since I am a whistleblower, and I went and presented this information, I'm protected.
Who's protecting
if they the law, right? These people now, if these people actually want to engage me and say I'm wrong, right?
Yeah,
they have to prove that, right? Otherwise, they're going to be held liable. Right? If they call me a liar and I'm a whistleblower and I've already provided the information, wouldn't that be a detriment to my character?
Slander,
right?
And
could that have an impact on my career?
Right.
If I'm labeled
100%.
right?
100%.
I'm currently unemployed.
Right. And you're working on a book and you're being involved in these conversations.
Right.
And
so currently the only thing they can do is, I should say, let's be realistic. Currently the only thing they have done is ignore me. I would say that's indicative of what I'm suggesting of being completely accurate, is they can't engage.
Yeah. And it's,
you know what that's called? The power of being right.
Yeah, right?
It's a really interesting position to operate from when you're right.
Did they ever come to a conclusion when you heard that conversation about what if we run this up the flagpole and they don't want to do anything about it? Did they ever talk more on that? Like, what would we do?
That was the end of that conversation in that room. I told them, if that happens, quit your job and work for the right team.
and they just were like,
and then we parted ways.
"Hey, Mr. Hecker."
And I wasn't being kind about it to them. It was kind of like dickheads. Like, if I have to answer this question for you,
That's a come to Jesus moment, really. I mean,
Yeah.
in your career, if you think you are doing good and you're
Right.
doing this good and you find
Right.
this data and then you run it up and they're like, let's how about those UAPs over the ocean? You want to look into that?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Maybe they won't quit because their job's scared. Maybe their family's livelihood is on the line. Maybe this is how everyone gets compromised. Maybe this is why we're all bamboozled in the dark, because everybody's too terrified about their mortgage payment, no matter what faction they work for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's such a different mentality. Like in France, that country will not go to work, shut down the streets, and go on strike for one extra day off a month. And it's like in this country, we can't afford to do that. We can't. It's like the only people mostly that you're gonna see on the streets and making noise are like unemployed because and everybody else. It's like we have to figure out a way to feed our family. We have to figure out a way to pay our mortgage. And that's what we're all worried about.
How's everybody enjoying living their life on a really short leash with a very powerful shock collar mounted on them?
Absolutely.
Do what you're told. Hurry up.
How do we break free of that, friend? How do we break that leash?
Become unmanageable.
Okay. Now that
right now we're too very easily managed.
Okay.
That's all that's going on. We're being managed.
So
like a resource.
So do things when you say that, I think of things like, okay, instead of getting on this social platform, let's just start our own. And let's, fuck them.
Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, because I'm actually in that activity, right?
Are you? That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I have my own website, deciphering.tv. I can,
Yes, I've been there, which is
I can technically simulcast this broadcast live right now with the push of a button.
Yes.
But with that being said, I think there's a lot more that we can do in our day-to-day activities, right? So one, if you want to become unmanageable, stop giving the managers all your information. Pay cash. Stop giving them all the metadata for them to manage you with. Super simple.
Yeah. This is your website here, everyone. This is Eric's deciphering.tv. You can see, look, he's got Alaska, Antarctica, exploring so much more. I think I can go down here and scroll a little bit. But a fantastic website. Clearly, you've put a lot of time and effort into it. Yes, we will put this link in our video down below for those that want to learn more about the story and the research and all the really cool interviews Eric's done in the past. What an awesome resource. I mean, super cool. I just started kind of building mine, and I can tell what you've done here is like you put a lot of hours into this.
It's on the technical stuff. I have to give credit where credit is due. I have a guy helping me out because this is all new to me. So I have input.
Sure.
But I would be lying if I said that I didn't have assistance with my website. I know I'm critical of other productions out there with massive teams. I have a website guy. That's me being transparent.
That's what smart people do, right? They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and they get help for those weaknesses. And this is fantastic. This looks great. This looks at caliber of any other website.
If you click on the live button up top, that's my favorite part.
Okay. Let's see. Live.
So that right there, that little window.
Yeah. You could actually run this live.
If I hit on air right now, the picture that I have going to you would go live on my website with our audio.
That's fantastic.
Or I can set this up in a way that I could just simulcast this show that we're doing. So this is what I'm trying to build for the communities. Effectively, what we're looking right now is a TV channel. This one available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but not being put to use. I'm one person, so obviously I can't create content to fill 24 hours of airspace 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But I needed a platform at the very least for myself. Like I mentioned earlier, freedom of speech is no longer free.
Ain't that the truth?
So I had to build myself a podium where I knew I couldn't be censored. What I'm trying to do is to assist, right? So I think of it like just being on point. Like I've just trudged down this trail first. I've learned some things. I want to make it easier for other people to come follow me on this trail. I would like to take everything that I've learned up until this point about broadcasting and producing and breaking the matrix of censorship. I want to help other people move further and faster than I did. Have you seen the movie The Running Man?
Oh yeah, I think they're making
like when the television. Oh really? So remember, like back then, the mission was like they needed to take down like the television antenna assembly thing because like we don't want to get to that point. We don't want to get to the point where like trying to fight to take down transmission towers and stuff to get free speech out.
Right. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, and then, oh God, it runs so deep because it is. They have definitely infiltrated the YouTube algorithms. I don't know what other. I know there's some other streaming services out there, but it is unless you do like a Patreon and a paid membership.
It's all right. You're right. If you look at it like freedom of speech,
right, it's not free. You pay for it.
Right, like you can go on your street corner and yell for free. Who's going to hear it? It's about distribution.
Amen.
What does distribution cost?
Yeah.
Distribution of speech.
That's going to be your niche now.
Yeah.
So what is just to go back to it a little bit, what is the most have you gotten any recent updates on that site at the Ice Cube facility in Alaska, or do you think they've just said, well, we addressed it, we're carrying on? Do you think it's
the most recent updated information regarding the Ice Cube neutrino detector Ice Cube lab at South Pole Station is that it's slated to be increased in size like 10 times over. That's the latest.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're going to make it 10 times worse.
It's just so crazy that is the answer. And there's just no. It just blows my mind. Sometimes it is. It's, are we living in a matrix and they're just able to?
We're living under management.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. That's the math on your freedom.
Right.
What you want to do and what you can do.
Yes, and what you're actually free to do.
The distance between those is your lack of freedom.
Yes. I'm surprised you haven't read Huxley, because that's a lot of what he gets into. Was so there was 1984 by Wells, and that was, I think, in the 30s, and that was more of a dictatorship type leadership. And then Huxley came out in the 50s, which called A Brave New World, and it's very similar to 84, but instead of a dictatorship, it was the appearance of freedom. And if you had troubles coping with that, don't worry, we have drugs for you to help you cope and fall in line with the rest of us. It's very, very interesting.
Part of me, I feel like I might have read that in like 7th grade.
Yeah, it's been out there for a long time.
Did it used to be grammar school reading?
Possibly. Although some of it is pretty.
I think we read Animal Farm also, which I think is not very
that one is weird.
And then I do remember we read Fahrenheit 451, which is intense.
Right, about the burning of the books and knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, so we used to read things that made you think.
Yes, yes.
You know, these are things I read as a kid.
Right. Or To Kill a
Yeah,
Mockingbird.
Fahrenheit 451 I thought was pretty wild. But yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird, like all of these things that really, you know, would put you in a moral quagmire, but made you think.
Yes, they would challenge your
Mm-hmm.
norm and what you
Mhm.
thought was okay, and like they don't do that anymore. You know, it's I don't know. Like my daughter.
We used to teach kids to extrapolate and figure out and to consider what is right.
Right.
Now we tell them.
Yes.
Tell them what's right.
Yeah, I saw some poll that said that there was a unusually high number of millennials that would be in one way or another okay with a dictatorship. Someone just telling them what to do all the time.
There's a growing percentage of the population of the United States military. I mean, from the time period that I was in back in 1994, if you took a poll of the U.S. military and you said, how many of you are willing to fight against Americans on American soil?
Wow. Yeah,
The
what were the results?
The number would be negligible, but that's a thing that, to me, I paid attention to, right? So through the years, when I run into military personnel, I ask them, of the people that you know in the military, what percentage of them would be willing to function on American soil against American people? That number keeps going up. It's over 50% now.
Wow.
These are my personal polls. Yeah. This is a thought that has crossed my mind that I've paid attention to.
It's shocking.
And I keep polling the military every chance I get. And I'm getting feedback, and that feedback is the numbers going up. The numbers now high.
Now, see, I was in the Army 20 plus years ago, and back then I would have said maybe the Marines. I don't know. Maybe the Marines might be
of the people like in your actual proximity, the people you served with. If I said of those people,
back then, 20 years ago, I would have said none. You know,
right? No way. What are you talking? You would have probably punched me in the face, be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, we're here to protect those.
Protect the American people.
Yeah, yeah. And now it's
fight on American soil,
right? And that was another thing about the drones, Eric, is that Title 10, and I think it was, I could be wrong, Section I-8 maybe, that gave military authorization to engage drones on or quote near military bases, which includes taking them over and confiscating them, destroying them, and not being liable for any of the damages, and engaging them, which basically means that they got authorization to perform military strikes within our borders. And like nobody's even reporting on that. Nobody even cares about that. They're like, well, they're bad drones. So
they're always moving the goalposts, and people probably don't even realize or remember, okay, when the military, right, this is how we always get presented stuff, right? When the military invented drones,
right,
they were weapons. We knew they were weapons, and we were all like, look, we're so powerful. We have drone weapons, and we're doing it in other countries. And everybody's like, wow, that's crazy. You're never going to use them here, right, on us? And they're like, no, that's illegal. Drones are weapons of war that will exclusively be used in foreign lands and never tolerated in the airspace in the United States of America. Boy, did they fucking walk that one back, huh?
Yeah. In there, like in Ukraine, they're almost exclusively being used. I mean, I watched a video of, God bless this poor Russian soldier, but this drone was like, had targeted him and he's literally like trying to run through alleys, and this thing is just following him, and then boom. And it reminded me of that 80s movie with Tom Selleck with the bullets that could track people. I don't know if you remember that one.
Slightly.
God, I can't remember the name of it, but how terrifying. And that's warfare now, is the drones. And now our military can shoot shit out of the sky. Or like if you're flying a drone in Texas somewhere and it's near Fort Hood, they could just take it. Let me get this loaded up. This will blow your mind. On the drone topic. So this is a Palantir commercial about drones, which is terrifying. So here, check this out. Is that not terrifying?
Cool propaganda piece.
Right. But I mean, like, that's right on YouTube. You know?
Yeah.
Um,
and in reality, if we're seeing it right now, let's just not be retarded. That means it's been going on.
yes. And people don't get that.
In the war arena, because if we're seeing it now, they're beyond research and development. They've already practically applied it. And here's the other cool thing, right? If we're seeing it publicly, it's already useless in the battlefield.
Right. Or
Useless.
considered
They love doing that. They love rolling out new battlefield tech. Guess what? If we're hearing about it in the public, it's useless in the battlefield now.
You are so right, Eric. I mean, I like in working in radio communications, right? We would have these radios and line of sight antennas and everything. And I remember this was 2001. And I remember asking in school, like, about bandwidth. You know, what kind of bandwidth are we talking here? We're in a live field, you know, training field, or maybe even a live arena. What kind of bandwidth, what kind of range, that kind of stuff. Oh, so this equipment, which is at that point was over 30 years old at this point, we can wirelessly transmit in line of sight up to 100 gigabytes a second. Wait, what? It's 2001 and you can wirelessly transmit 100 gig? Yeah, we can have video conferences with our soldiers in the front lines and our generals all the way back at the Pentagon. It is the technology that we have. It is. If we're using it, we've already been using it for a long time, and we're probably on to the next best thing by the time it's getting out to the public.
Yeah, absolutely. Before they can even use any type of system in the battlefield, they have to have a contrary system, something that can take that out.
Yeah.
You can't introduce a weapon to the battlefield that they don't have a way to defeat the weapon. So technically, they always build two systems effectively, right? Oh, look, we can make drone swarms. Oh, that means we can also take out drone swarms.
Yes, we can deactivate them somehow.
Right, these things go hand in hand. The reverse is true too. So we have like Plum Island out on Long Island, right, where we have like the Animal Disease Control Center and the CDC, where these installations are tasked with. They have to come up. So on their end, like their job is to come up with like the cure for any type of bio weapon that could ever be used against us.
What?
Right? So in order to do that, they have to make every kind of bio weapon.
Oh God.
If you want to be able to have the cure for any type of bioweapon that your enemy brings at you, what other business are you in then?
Yeah, you got to be able to test it.
Yeah, you gotta be making bioweapons.
Right. How can we say if it works or not?
Right? I wonder if every country can understand this logic and reason. I wonder if they all have their own programs. I wonder if we, the people who have been paying way too much time to paying our mortgages, don't really appreciate the activities of all of the different factions around us that don't really give a flying fuck other than make sure you pay your fucking mortgage, asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot about our youth as a country. I mean, we're a couple hundred years old. I look at us as like righteous teenagers with the best weapons. Like we don't quite have it figured out yet. We're young, we're headstrong, we're driven by like what we call morals and beliefs and this and that and the other. Um, but we also don't have a lot of respect for, you look at China, like they've been around over 2,000 years, and sure, they've had some inner wars and things of that nature, but that culture and that country's been around for a couple of thousand years, where we've been around for a couple of hundred. So I often wonder, like, are they just playing the long game and they know we're going to pop and fizzle out, or are we really a threat to them? I think about that a lot because
They play every front. They have short game, mid game, long game, success game, failure game, all of these things. They have departments for it. We do the same. We do the same thing. This is G. Gordon Liddy was involved with the whole Watergate thing back in the day.
Right.
He's been very public. He's like, you have no idea how many plans they come up with for things.
God, I can imagine. Game theory.
He goes, there's a list. He goes, there's so many names on this list for like, if we had to kill this guy tomorrow, how do we do it? Whether or not the guy needs killing or not, they need to be prepared.
Wow.
Like this omnipresent shenanigans going on.
Yeah. And they believe they have license because what they're doing is, right and noble
for the country. Said that that's what they thought back then. They absolutely thought they were patriotic heroes saving the world.
Well, how else are you gonna sleep at night?
Mm-hmm. Hey, you went to boot camp. You know the program. It's brainwashing.
It is.
It's totally a process of brainwashing.
Tear you down to build you up. And
And these are techniques that we learn from torturing people, right? If you make people exhausted.
Yes.
If you make people hungry. Were you hungry and tired when you were in boot camp?
Oh my God. That basically describes every day for the first 6 weeks.
Right?
Yeah.
So once you get people to levels of exhaustion and hunger, we already know. You can get people to do anything, as you observed.
Yes,
right?
I was completely
You
shaken.
guys aren't going to chow hall until we PT you for 4 hours. And you're like,
right. Yeah. And that's how it was. But see, also there's a part of it where I think I told you, like, this is right after 9/11, so there was a lot of patriotic vitriol in the air, and so I think everybody was like just gung-ho and open to that process. Brainwash me, turn me into a soldier, because I want to go kill these
1,000%. And that was part of that whole planned event.
Yes,
I know.
And you say,
let anybody believe that we all totally needed the Patriot Act.
Yeah, I know. That is something that's so hard for me to get through, is that 9/11 may have been some kind of op, because I'm like, God, it was such an impact on my life, and such
children born after the Patriot Act don't live in a free America.
It's true. It's
questionable, the freedom of the ones prior to it, but post,
true.
You don't have freedom.
You can check out the library book.
You don't know what freedom is. Yeah, you don't live in the historical United States of America that our founding fathers created.
And what's more terrifying, Eric? They're okay with it.
Yeah, because they don't know.
They're going to read my text.
They have no idea what freedom is. I wish somebody could do like some content creation, like work with it, like teach AI about our founding fathers and stuff like that. I'd like to see somebody present something like, what would happen if the founding fathers showed up and took a tour of the nation?
Oh God, that would be
right?
amazing.
Like, what would that be like if we could could somehow gather the signers of the Declarations of
Yeah.
Independence
Where my
and
mind
give them
goes
carte
is like,
blanche? Hey, welcome back. Take a look at what we've done.
yeah,
And allow
where my-
them free pass. Go ask every question you want of everybody involved, and
that
tell us
would
what you
be
think.
insane content. Where my mind goes is I could see like each of them kind of addressing different issues, like Thomas Jefferson's take on, I don't know, the CIA Contra action that took place.
Yeah, like give
You know?
them liberty to peruse everything and
Yeah.
see what they think we've accomplished.
I think you're onto something there. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. You should. Do you play with AI much?
No.
No, it's good if you're using it as a tool.
I can appreciate the value of that. Yeah, I think a lot
Yeah.
of people use things incorrectly, but I
Yes.
can't say it has no value. I think it's currently not being used for its potential.
There's a lot of irresponsible folks that want a friend and think that this thing is their friend, and it's just a large language model tool.
There's a lot of people that lack discernment, and going to AI doesn't overcome that obstacle. Because if you lack discernment to begin with, and the AI gives you information, that actually doesn't mean the AI is right. And if you lack discernment and experience to know when the AI is wrong, you're just getting your head filled with shit.
Absolutely.
AI is wrong.
All the time. All the
It's
time.
required to send out reports in real time of all the errors that it makes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, then that would be a lot of reports because
there are tons. Yeah, no one talks about that aspect. Is like the people that run AI are dealing with all of the error reports.
Right. Right.
No, then it sends out a freaking flag like, "Oh, this was wrong. This is the error. This is yeah, okay, it screws up all day long."
Did you hear about the
work on the AI? The few engagements I had on with AI, I should say, I engaged it on me. I asked it about me and my experience and what it could know and about the science of this. It started out basically like with the standard internet propaganda. Hacker claims this, blah blah blah, but scientists say blah 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 blah. I had like maybe you query it first and then it comes back. I had maybe like a back and forth of like 5 responses, and the thing was basically apologizing to me because I asked the questions first, and then when it gave the spiel, I informed it that I was Eric Hecker that it was talking about.
Right.
So I am Eric Hecker. And I said, I'm talking with direct firsthand experience. I provided documentation, and you're telling me that these other scientists say that what I'm saying is not true. Have they provided any proof of their statements? And they said, oh, no. I said, so I have proof. I have direct firsthand experience. Wouldn't that be more reasonable to take my words over theirs? And I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely right. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Right? Why wouldn't you? I mean, that's the AI operates with logic and reason.
Right. And
right?
Oh man, you should. Have you posted that? You should definitely post that conversation.
I didn't.
But yeah, it really can be a good tool. But do not rely on it for your information, right? Rely on it to point in directions.
People should test it first. They should test it first. Talk about things that they absolutely know about.
Yes, and I always have
to mess up.
And I always have mine provide links. Like if you're going to provide me with a so-called quote unquote fact or piece of data, I want the link to it. So all my answers include tons of links and I click on them all and check them out. But yeah, you have to do your own homework. It is a great research tool, but don't let it replace your brain. Use your brain. Your brain's there for a very good reason.
Like everybody loves the internet and games and stuff like that. Here's a cool thing. Have fun with the AI. See how often you can make it give you wrong answers.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's really hard. Like if that's your goal, like I want to see if I can get the AI to give me a wrong answer. I bet you'll find it easy. So, and the more and more you do that should give you great pause.
Right. Right. Because who is feeding it in the background the version that you're getting, right?
It's just information. It doesn't have experience, right?
No.
So we have to look at like this whole AI thing. Like, what is it replacing in our society? It's the newfangled thing. What's it
To
replacing?
me, it's like replacing Google. That's how I
Nope.
kind of look at it. No?
What did Google
Information.
replace?
Information.
Access point.
Access. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what it actually replaced in your past. Remember when you used to go to the library when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, I remember finding the
Remember
numbers of the books.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Oh yeah.
Right. So remember when you went to the library when you were a kid and you needed information, you'd go to the librarian who would bring you over to the Dewey Decimal cards.
Right.
You'd ask her, I'm looking for information on. She was Google. She was AI. That's what they replaced was her. Okay. Or him. Sorry, folks.
Right.
But in reality, right, you can make an inquiry to that person, and they were very good at what they did.
Oh yeah.
They knew how to get you in the direction of the right information. Cool. Thank you. Right? But now, that person might have read all of them books technically. Might not have. Let's just presume they did. Let's say that person read the entirety of that library. Just because they can direct you to the path of the right information. If that person hasn't experienced anything in those books, do they know anything about the topic?
Just superficially. They haven't had the experience.
If that librarian lived in the library, never left the library,
yeah,
never exchanged any of those things, that person would not actually be able to give you good info, even if they read all the books.
Yes.
It's not possible.
Right.
Experience matters.
Yeah. And that's where we're at
Life
with this AI. Yeah.
They say what the Star Wars thing, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge represents the repository of information. Accessing it is simply that. But wisdom comes from engagement. Even academics, we wouldn't think an academic, right? I have a doctorate in Egypt and Egyptian studies. Have you been to Egypt? No, I went to college on Egypt.
Yes.
Sick. Now, if we then met an Egyptian, right, and an Egyptian came and visited, and we started engaging on Egyptian culture, and the guy with the doctorate on Egyptian civilization starts saying, it's not like that. It's not like that. Got paperwork that says I know what I'm talking about. That's what's going on right now. Is we're discounting experience, life experience, knowledge, wisdom.
People had actually been there and seen it versus someone sitting in a lab thousands of miles away.
Pontificating about something that they read in someone else's book that they have no experience in.
And so it all has to do with media control, right? And what they're deciding to cover. And
knowledge is power.
Yeah, because that's what's going to make it into folks' homes. That's what's going to make it into the newspapers that they're reading. And like it or not, there's still a large part of this civilization that unless it's in the mainstream news, they're just not going to hear it.
Yeah.
And that's
actually the biggest power play is, like you did say, that they have control over what's being conversed about in your homes and in work and all that. Yeah, absolutely. The scarier part is what they control to make sure you never discuss. Power of the edit to make sure what's omitted from day-to-day conversation.
Yeah. Either one way or another, either we're scared and filter it out ourselves, or it gets filtered. Yeah, I mean, there's topics like in X spaces, like I just won't touch. Like I'm just not gonna, because I'm not gonna open myself up to. If I cared about it, I would. But since I don't have a dog in the fight, I'm not gonna jump in there and say one way or the other.
Because it's totally fair. That's a lot of the issue going on too, is that they get everybody to engage every topic that has no bearing on their freaking life.
Right.
Right? I'm in Alaska. I don't care about California politics.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Not to me.
What does it have to do with UFO
Right.
disclosure?
Right. Like, yeah. You know?
Crazy. So I heard you in a space yesterday. God, someone was being a dick. I forget who it was, but you do such a great job of just like keeping that same tone no matter what. And I think that drives those folks that have those emotional reactions absolutely crazy. And that's half the reason I always find you in spaces, because it just cracks me up. They can't take it.
I love that stuff. It cracks me up. Do you have children?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a
Okay.
15-year-old and a
you know,
4-year-old.
so, you know, like when your kids think they're doing something brilliant, because
Right.
they're a kid and they figure, God, I'll never figure this out. Like, they have no idea you've done it a million times, all of that stuff, right? Like, they just don't have a clue. Kids don't have a clue that you've been there, done that.
Yes.
So a lot of these a-holes on the internet have no idea that I used to be 10 times the a-hole that they were. So they come at me with stuff where I'm like, oh, that's weak.
You've been doing
you gotta try way harder. That's low grade assholery.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the first ones, there was someone in there questioning about the science. And it was so funny because you were like, it's all in the paperwork. Just read the paperwork and it's all there. And he was like, no, but you're not telling us how this one specific thing happens. And you're like, I'm not a fucking scientist. Like, I found this shit. You're the fucking scientist. Figure it out.
Read the fucking paper. Like, yeah. I got to build it for you now, too? Like, holy cow.
So hilarious. Like, what do you want this man to do? Come to your house and give an example of like, you know, if you can't accept it, don't accept it. But it, you know, it is what it is. The information is there. Go research it. And like some people, it made me wonder if it was just like some kind of ontological shock for that person, where they were like, I can't. This breaks my brain. You know, I can't.
I thought it was funny. Even I was on the Patrick Bet David show over in Florida.
Okay. Yeah, he's great.
I hated that dude.
You
he was trying to throw me under the bus the whole time.
He does that.
Going on. Yeah, that was his greatest effort. He was just doing his best to try to play me for a fool. And one of the things that he did, he challenged that I was a plumber. You see, he tried challenging every single angle to find leeway. He was like, you know, and he does the thing that the shithead podcast. He does this shithead podcaster thing where he's like, I'm not saying, but you know, people will ask.
Right. People are, that's like what
Fox people want to know.
Yeah. Some people are saying.
Yeah. And he goes, you know, some people wonder, you know, are you even really a plumber? Can you? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Oh, so if I had something broken here right now, you could fix it? I'm like, yeah, show me it.
Yeah, I must have missed that.
Yeah, 1,000%. Check it out. Yeah, anything broken in your facility, I could fix right now, and I'd be happy to charge you.
Right. And what fucking difference does it make? Like, okay,
it shows intent. It shows that some of these people, their entire production is to discount, not support. It's obvious. Like this engagement, right? I would say you're not here to discount me.
No,
it's obvious. It's obvious.
Right.
There are other people. To me, it's so fucking obvious that they're not there to support. Their whole goal is to discount. You go watch my interview on Patrick Bet David, and you show me where he was trying to show support, and where he was trying to discount. It's obvious.
Yeah. Oh,
there are people that are bringing me on to try to tear me down.
I did see that video, and I was quite irritated because it's like an 11-minute snippet. And he said something like, you give me red flags. And then his argument was because you were a plumber who had some successful clients. And I was like,
what? You got to see the whole. You got to see the whole thing. If you only saw an 11-minute clip, I think I spoke with him for about an hour or so.
Yeah, I'll have to see the whole thing. Yeah, but it was like, what do you prove? And then I think you had an answer, and which made sense. And then he kind of just carried on with the conversation because it was a big nothing burger.
If you enjoyed him before as a viewer of his,
some of his stuff.
Fair enough. I'm just saying if he did, You watch the video that he did with me. You're gonna put him in a different category.
I'm sure I will. And that's happened with some of these folks, where I'll watch a particular interview and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like I used to really, and I still like Danny Jones, but the episode he did with the Antichrist guy was like just way too much for me. Like, I don't want to hear, I don't even want to put out there on the airways what he was claiming, Jesus was guilty of. And it was like, and you're platforming this guy with millions of viewers, and I just didn't like it.
And this is what the audience is asking for.
Yeah, they're going to tune in for it.
They
And it
want these
one of the
people
higher
to
views.
put on the craziest things. They want the podcasters to, let us decide. Just give us everything. Let us, and it's like,
They do. They do.
There's a lot of muddying of the waters. As a plumber, I highly suggest you start with a clean water source.
Absolutely.
You let people throw mud in the reservoir and you filter it out later, you're wasting your energy.
Absolutely. Deciphering.tv. That's what we're going to get. I can't wait. I think, I think if we can get Jesse Ventura to sign on, that's going to be one of my big things. Jesse Ventura for president, post Trump, we might get some truth. That's my platform.
I haven't seen anything from him in a while, but I wouldn't be.
He's been like off the radar for a long time, but it was so cool to see him as he became part of the system and then get access to all this stuff. Basically, just lose his goddamn mind because nobody cares about the crazy stuff. Like everybody just wants to keep going to work and listen to the new pop song. And
I remember listening to him on the Howard Stern show, and he discussed when he became governor, one of the first things that he became privy to was that there were CIA agents embedded in the government. And he was like, what the hell is going on? That's not right at all.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're in private industry, government industry. They're clearly all over the UFOs disclosure space. I mean, they're everywhere. So weird. Have you ever met any of those cats, such as like Put Off, Semivin? Trying to think of any other ones.
Fred Baker from Skywatcher was part of Jake Barber's investigation team that sat at the dinner table with me in Washington, D.C. Thanks for not killing me, Fred.
How did that go?
I didn't realize at the time I was under such a level of scrutiny.
Did you
have made it through dinner?
Did you have a good combo with them, or were you just worried?
I honestly vaguely recall it. I've communicated with him since, and he says he remembers it being a wonderful evening.
Wow.
But yet they were there to potentially have me arrested or killed. Had somebody sitting right at my table. I mean, this is what really happened.
Jesus. So what did you do? How did you handle that?
At the time at the dinner?
Yeah.
I didn't know that he was there to investigate me or kill me. I just had dinner talk with him.
Okay, so this is you didn't have that knowledge yet.
Yeah, I didn't know that then.
Oh, Jesus. That must have rocked your world when you found out.
Well, that didn't rock my world so much because, like I did say earlier, like I had no idea if I was going to walk in the skiff and get popped in the head. How am I going to know?
Wow, man.
Right? I have no idea who's sitting at the dinner table with me. Right? I don't know. I did know in advance that was a possibility. Right? So that part's not actually shocking. The shocking part for me is I'm now watching those people put on a spotlight as the good guys. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Are you guys all retarded?
Yeah.
The guys that they sent to arrest and kill whistleblowers are now on the pedestal as the whistleblowers. You guys are dumb.
Yeah. Well, and it's just fuckery, right? Like,
come on, audience, get your heads out of your asses.
That's the thing.
The
It's
bad guys don't get to take the black hat off and then put the white hat on and be like, hey, you should do it. You should be managed how we say now.
Yeah.
Look how managed the disclosure community is
Oh, it's crazy.
by these managers.
It's crazy.
It's obvious. It's so
and it's
obvious to the most
always-
casual observers that don't want to delude themselves. Is the conversations that they're engaging in and their beloved spectacle of the circus has no evidence.
Right. And
That's the bottom line. No evidence.
Almost relies on that, right? To keep it going. Keep it
Don't you want
alive.
to hear the next chapter?
Yeah. Don't
Stay
you want to
tuned.
hear the next whistleblower?
Stay tuned for next week.
Yep. Jeremy Corbell's got that new video coming out.
Yeah,
It's just this constant
we're
thing of
trying to crowd fund a dog whistle so we can attract another egg. An egg-FO. That's what we call them now, egg-FOs.
Now, I had a gentleman reach out to me in my area that believes he has cracked the dog whistle code and wants me to come out later this summer to try to film some of it. But he says that he has already had some activity as a result from using this dog whistle, which I guess is a mixture between frequencies and sound outputs and volume. Like it has it's very specific and has to do with like the time of day. You'll be more apt to create activity at different times of day. So I'm going to go with him. I'm going to check it out. If he asks me to join in any sigils, I'm not doing that. I'm not drinking anything from a skull cap. I'll tell you that. But I definitely am.
Why are you taking your goat out of the trunk, sir?
I'm not drinking any more blood. It's not happening. I don't want to see it that bad. But I am interested to see what if anything we do see.
Yeah.
The Skywatch is
saying, there's nothing wrong with gaining life experience.
Yeah.
You're gonna go and see. Somebody gets to put the proof in the pudding, so to say. That's fantastic.
Have you experienced anything like that in your journey?
Proud to find the light of that on this one?
Well, like CE5 or orbs or
I've participated in a CE5 that yielded no results.
Okay.
I've seen what I would say are a variety of UFOs. I'm up in Alaska. They are pretty common.
God, I bet.
I've walked the dog on multiple occasions where I just saw like what I would say was like a white orb up in the sky, not like super bright, but like the thing's just sitting there. It's way up high. It's just like doing nothing. And there are times, where I didn't have my camera on me. It's like 25 minutes, like I'm walking with the dog trying to get back to the house. And then I forget. And I'm like, the damn thing was up there,
I swear they do that on purpose.
Yeah, and there was another time I got a picture from a common lookout area, and I posted that picture. It was really weird, like this thing just hanging out in the sky. It almost looked like a plane that had like started leaving a trail. Like when they leave a little bit of smoke trail, but then like the smoke trail was super short, and whatever this thing wasn't moving anyway. So it's like again, this thing in the thing in the sky that was standing out. So
yeah, I can imagine the view there must have just been.
I used to work at a former Nike nuclear missile site here in Alaska.
Really?
It's been turned into parkland. Yeah, these are all funny places that everybody can look like. All former Nike nuclear missile sites. All these things have shady pasts.
Right.
One night when I was there, I was doing grooming trails, ski trails. So I was driving the heavy equipment, grooming the trails through the woods, middle of the night in Alaska, and like through the trees. Winter, there's not a lot of leaves and stuff, but it's still dense trunks in proximity to each other, and like through the density of the trees on like another trail. And these are like closed woods. There's only like me and another operator in this area, and I know where he's operating.
Right.
There's nowhere near me. but I was seeing some wild lights through the trees, like at my height, like, maybe 6 or 8 feet off the ground was where my eye level was in the piece of equipment. But it was like, I mean, all I should have been looking and seeing in that direction was darkness. Like night,
Right.
it's the woods,
Right.
nothing in there. All I could see was that there was some brightness and movement of lights, and something had gone like down the trail to my right somehow.
Wow. Any thoughts on what that might have been?
No idea. I mean,
Yeah.
unidentified. I don't know. There was lights in the woods that I can't explain.
Wow. What's the craziest thing you've seen up there since you've been there?
Alaska. Polar bears.
Polar bears?
Polar bears. I hate polar bears.
I ate
Yeah.
polar bear meat once.
Did you?
I did. I was very young buck. I was I think I was like 17 working at a U-Haul. And this guy came in that drove in from Alaska and said he'd been waiting years for his polar bear permit. And he finally got it. And he had this bag full of polar bear jerky. He was just super excited to share with everyone. And I took a couple bites and it just tasted terrible. It was probably some of the worst tasting meat I've ever had.
I don't even know if you can get a polar bear permit.
Well, now to be fair, this would have been about 25 years ago.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah,
I still wonder. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's no illegal poaching going on in the state of Alaska.
Could have been that too.
I'm not saying this guy didn't have polar bear.
Yeah.
I'm just questioning the legality.
Either way, it's not worth it because it tastes like shit. I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Unfortunately, I've worked in a lot of places where we have meandering polar bears.
Wow.
And you want to, I would, people don't talk about scary stuff.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world and they eat you. Like, they hunt you. Like, I think it's the only animal
like it's
straight up, wants to eat people.
It's like a real dino beaver.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there's been a lot of places where I worked where there are polar bears in proximity. I would say that was probably the creepiest thing.
Do you, so I know Anchorage is like one of the bigger cities up there, right?
It's the biggest city.
Yeah. So does it feel kind of just like a normal town? I've never been there before.
Yeah.
They got a Walmart, they got a, all that kind of stuff. Okay.
They got all the basic stuff, not tons. There's not a lot of competition in the state. But Anchorage is a fully functioning city. How
far outside of town, like how many miles would you say outside of town before you're in Remoteville?
Chugach State Park borders the east side of the town.
Okay.
And that's like, I don't know, like 500,000 acres or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's right here. Like, it's a big difference. Anchorage is 20 minutes away from Alaska.
Do they still have the thing in Alaska where there's parts where you can go out and claim your lay a stake to land out there?
Homesteading.
So fascinating. That's like that's like the last of the Wild West. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, the last of the Wild West was when they created the state parks to prevent the American citizens from homesteading anymore.
Right. Very true.
Heaven forbid the poor people get the land.
Now that makes me think, I do want to get your take before I let you skedaddle here. That makes me think about the Grand Canyon restricted area. I know you stay pretty current, so you've heard about this. What are your thoughts on that? The fact that there's part of a Grand Canyon we can't even go to.
I think it begs the question of why we haven't gone there yet to find out.
Right? Like who? Why
that's
somebody put on a GoPro?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason that I've heard that we, the people of this great nation, can't travel into the Grand Canyon.
Right.
What's the justification for the restriction?
They said it has
too damn beautiful.
Well, it has something to do, and the official explanation has something to do with cultural maintaining cultural habitat and that kind of thing. So it has to do with.
I call bullshit.
I completely agree.
Look at everything else. Look at everything else that they set up sightseeing tours to profit off that exact same activity of,
I mean, we made
viewing
reservations.
the culture.
Yeah, we made reservations back in the day. So to think like this one spot, we were like, except for here.
Just to show sacred.
This is your spot. I have a hard time believing that. It's just no way. Everybody's going to reservation.
I'm picturing a Native American going, this rock. Your father carried this rock.
Exactly. Exactly. And Ross Coulthart, he thinks he found a base in Sedona, Arizona. Have you looked into that at all?
People still listen to Ross Coulthart?
They do. Well, he's got
that's wild. I wonder why.
He's got
I wonder why, because he seems to have a lack of evidence for anything.
For anything, and it's always people are telling me. Well, what people? What? But he went out with oh, forgive me, I'm gonna forget her name. She's a pretty well-known guide in the area. She'll take folks out and show them orbs and how these silent helicopters fly along these orbs and stuff out in Sedona, and how it appears that these things are coming up from under the ground in Arizona. So you haven't seen any of that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, buddy, I would check it out. It's really interesting. They go out there, they have these. Now, I'm not a big Coulthart fan, but I know the lady that he's covering in this has actually been in ufology for a while. I want to say it's Linda something, but they went out there with NVGs and they had, their film crew.
Please tell me it's Linda Moulton Howe.
No, not Linda Moulton Howe, which is, holy cow, that's a whole nother bag of wax, but the ball of wax. But what are your thoughts on Linda Moulton Howe, by the way, while I got you here?
Oh, I had total lack of appreciation when I communicated with her. I mean, she's I don't know, useless at this point.
You think so?
Yeah, I spoke to her. I tried to share my information with her about what was going on in Antarctica. She tried to share with me her information about what was going on in Antarctica and her sources and stuff. And I asked her how she could possibly be vetting people. She's never been to Antarctica.
Right. Well, that was a lot of her.
I questioned her information.
Yeah.
She got mad at me. And it didn't go well. I figured I was more of an authority on the topic than her. She felt she was more of an authority on the topic than me.
Yeah, see, and that's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
That's
because
weird.
As a journalist, you shouldn't be the authority on anything. You should should try to research it and understand stuff as best you can. But then when you have someone in the seat that you're talking to, like, just shut up and ask the questions. I mean,
and wouldn't you think, Gabriel, right? If you were the researcher in the equation, right, and you had previously had people come to you as Antarctic whistleblowers, and then you have someone else that shows up that has verifiable experience, and that person reaches out to you and goes, "Hey, man, I think you've been bamboozled." Wouldn't you think you'd want to have that conversation?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? But what I'm learning is all the people that have previously engaged with other Antarctic whistleblowers who've yet to substantiate their claims, those researchers don't want to engage me.
Wow. So they've put together some kind of anti-Eric campaign.
Well, they already had a pro-Antarctica agenda to control the narrative.
Right.
And they were already doing it when I showed up to the conversation.
You were just a squeaky wheel.
They were saying, our whistleblowers say this. And I go, who are your whistleblowers? Is that a picture of them in Antarctica? Oh, they're not allowed to have cameras. Really? Because I have pictures of me there.
That's weird, because Eric's got pictures everywhere.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Your guy says he couldn't have a camera when he was there.
And I asked you about this in one of the spaces, like, was it weird to you to see all of the UFO lore within that base? I mean, they had like a UFO hanging, they had like a doll alien. There was
I thought it was great.
definitely
It was hilarious. It was moral. It was morale boosting. It was
okay.
something.
Yeah.
We were like, you got to realize it's no different than being on like the freaking dark side of the moon. We were cut off.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's one thing you don't really consider.
Yeah, I mean, we were working hard to keep morale up.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy stint.
I can
So yeah, that stuff was a blast. We joked around. When the last plane flies out, it's a tradition at the South Pole Station to set the gymnasium up for watching movies on the night of the last flight, which is effectively the start of the winter season.
Mhm.
Everybody piles in, has a big old party, and we watch The Thing.
What was the movie?
What's that?
What was the movie?
The Thing.
Oh, The Thing. Oh God.
We watched The Thing.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like it's a very much embrace the suck environment.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it was in the Army too. I mean, if you're in a shitty spot, it was like just love it and try to have fun.
Right, yeah, it's just so you can get it. I mean, so you've been deployed and you can appreciate logistics lines, right? And the further out on the logistics line, the shittier you're dead.
Yes.
Right.
And you gotta find ways to get through it, to keep that
right.
humanity.
So now imagine you're stuck at the South Pole Station for wintertime. You know your logistics line is zero. It's zero.
Yeah.
What can we order? Nothing.
What can we DoorDash?
Yeah. What can we get? Yeah.
And you're out now.
Call up the shopkeep and tell them to send on the next delivery the stuff. That doesn't happen.
Forgive me.
Picture any place that you've ever been deployed, and now just say, all right, we're going to go there for 8 months, and we're going to have zero logistics lines. That's just what we brought.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's not good. That's not. At least usually they'll have a Burger King or something. Something. They'll have something that'll give you a little bit of taste of home. Yeah. So was it?
We did have all you can eat snow cones.
Well, there you go. Yeah. All you need is the syrup. You were out there for 8 months, 9 months. How long?
366 days straight.
So an entire year. Holy shit. Were you counting down the days, or were you just kind of just taking it all in?
It came in waves.
Okay. Which is very human, right?
There are times you counted the seconds. There are times you couldn't look at a clock. It changed.
What was
at about the 6 month mark, when I was there for about 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be honest. I was having trouble recalling not being there.
Oh wow!
It was like I know
it was like you were just always
been here. Yeah, I know. I have big memories of before here.
That's fascinating.
So it started to feel like I had been there forever. Okay.
You think that was just your brain trying to help you?
Oh, totally. This is all brain stuff. So in my head, I'm just, I'm doing my thing, and I'm thinking, man, it feels like I've been here forever. I've only been here 6 months. I have 6 months to go, which now feels like forever. It's like it's just
forever.
Yeah, it's like I really need to stop thinking about time and calendars and all. And I really had to do a hard push to just be like, you gotta fucking stop counting days for a while.
Right.
Just chill. Like nothing's changing. Oh, one more day passed. Like that's so different now.
When it was downtime, what kind of things did you guys do to pass the time? I know we played a lot of cards.
We partied pretty hard.
Yeah. Booze. You didn't have booze. Thank God for that. At least they let you drink some booze out there. Now, were they more effective out there because of the environmental changes?
Yeah, I guess because of the altitude and stuff, and lack of humidity and dehydration, probably got ripped faster.
What was your drink of choice?
Black Velvet was $10 a bottle out of the company.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. I mean,
and then we went up the ranks. So we had Black Velvet for $10 a bottle. If I remember correctly, Captain Morgan's I think was $14 a bottle. And then when we were when we were feeling feisty, we would get bottles of, I think, Maker's Mark.
Okay.
I think that was like $18 or $24.
Wow, that's actually really
Yeah.
good. That's like my wife's
They had a
favorite.
variety of stuff, and I'll be honest, I was directed by a crew hand that I worked with in the summertime who had previously done a winter,
Right.
and he gave me advice because again the logistics line is locked down. It's just what we have on site, and he told me, he said, as soon as the winter season starts, he goes, start buying up all the booze, store it, hide it, get it. This is gonna run out.
I would
I was
imagine.
I was like, whoa, okay, copy that. My room became like, it looked like a liquor store stock room.
What did you guys do on your last day there? Was there like any tradition there before you take off? Or maybe the night before? Because I know there's a lot of
everybody kind of rotates out separately depending on when your alternates come in, so it's not like a mass migration. It's more, I guess you'd say there's oftentimes mass input.
Right.
You might have a herc full of people show up. You might have a herc full of people leave during the summer season, but there's a lot of transient flow. There was a lot of people moving around, and I don't know what. So we had a crew complement of about 280, I think, for the summer season, 49 in the winter. So I mean, there was always people coming and going in the summer season, but it wasn't my crew. It would be like other scientists passing through, and then at the tail end of the season, I mean, I stayed for the winter, so a lot of the summer hands, 49 of us remained.
Wow.
Out of 280,
For the whole winter season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a lot of darkness, basically? Yeah. What is that like, buddy? Like,
wild on the eyes. I mean, my eyes got to see what telescopes see.
I bet.
I mean, that's the best way to put it. It's the best.
Stars.
It's the coolest thing ever. So you can take your head up like this because you're already at elevation, right?
Right.
All you have to do is raise your head a few degrees, and then the horizon line drops out of view.
And you're in space.
Now you can rotate 360 degrees. You're in space. That's straight up. So cool. I mean, there's no difference in the view. Like what I was seeing would be like what the astronauts would see in the space station if they weren't looking at the Earth, just look the other way.
Yeah, and didn't have a porthole. They could look everywhere.
Yeah. That's true too. Yeah. That's a good point.
Okay, last question, and then I'll let you be on your way. What's next for Eric? Do you have a vision or a goal in mind?
I guess I would just put it as I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Lots of times I like the term, keep things close to your chest because, if you put too much of your information out there, like I'm learning in the disclosure community, there's way more people trying. Yeah, there's way more people trying to slow my roll than to help me. Yeah. People that want to help me reach out to me. People that don't want to help me, do so privately and in the shadows, and you don't hear about it until later, or next thing you know, you get an invite on a show where everybody's polite during the booking process, but then right before you go on air, they're like, just want to let you know we're friends with Lou Elizondo. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, great! That's insane.
Which has happened.
That's happened to you.
Yeah.
God, see, it's like every corner I turn just reinforces that guy is bad news.
Yeah.
Just bad.
I had an interview I recorded like straight up, like there was like like us, when you and I communicated, hey Eric, I want to have an interview. And then all of a sudden when we go on air, all of a sudden they have like a crew. There's like 3 other people. And that's also a red flag. It's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, like surprise attack.
Let's do this. Like total ambush. Didn't see this coming, but cool. So on this particular event, like the 4-pack of interviewers, like straight up, like we had like a 5-minute conversation before we went on air. And in that process, they basically divulged that they're all friends with Lou and go fuck yourself. And if you don't like it, You can not go on air right now, and we'll call you chicken and all of this shit. And I was like, no, fuck it, let's do it. Say whatever the fuck you want.
I've spent a lot of time around mobsters and gangsters, interviewing them, having them on the podcast.
Mhm.
And a lot of times when you ask a mobster when they were active, hey, what do you do for a living? I own a construction business. I own a plumbing business. I own dry cleaners. I own this. When you tell me you're a plumber, you give me red flags, because to me, you take me to, it's a little bit blurry, your background on what you've done. Just fine. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe it's not. It could go the CIA route. It could be the DIA route. It could be a lot of different intelligences. It's not hard to be associated with them. But you're saying you've never been involved with CIA. You've not done anything with DIA. That's not something you've done in the past before.
I've never been directly employed by any of those companies, alphabet agencies, however you want to title them. But having looked backwards, I question the proximity that I was to them.
Yeah,
That's
the Patrick
crazy.
Bet David one too. You'll
Yeah, I
find
will.
all kinds of stuff you can clip where people try to throw me under the bus, and they do a piss poor job of it.
I know you have. So you say you're working on your book. You have your website, your deciphering.tv. We're going to make sure and link all that down below.
The end of August, I will be speaking at a live event in
Okay.
Alamosa, Colorado, which I
Okay.
did make a post on my website about that. It's a Snippy event.
Okay.
I'll be speaking there. I think it's August, 22nd, I think. Directed energy weapons, the dilemma with those, and the current state of the disclosure debacle.
Are there any other DEWs that have you really worried right now?
Yeah, all of them, because we don't know where they're at. I mean, technically, there's two more at the South Pole Station we didn't discuss today. We just discussed one of them, the South Pole Station that I know of.
Right. We're going to have to get into that too in a later episode
Yeah.
for sure. And I think, God, you're doing so much just getting out there and spreading the word. And like, I just want to say thank you because there's not enough folks doing that. I know it's a tough position to be in. I mean, I don't know personally, but I can only imagine you're just trying to tell people what to be aware of, and you're getting all this nonsense backlash.
Things now, as I'm getting older, I feel like I hear my grandfather's phrases in my head. Right? You said that. I think in my head I can hear my grandfather going, "Yeah, it's a rather thankless job."
It is, but it's mandatory. It's like one of those jobs where it's going to go down in history. And you're going to be a part of history that was out there saying, look, we need to pay attention to this stuff. When everybody else was trying to say, oh, look at the skies, look at the fancy this, look at the fancy that. And the whole time you're going, folks, we caused 2 earthquakes.
I'm a prophet in insofar as I can express this statement. Directed energy weapons will become more of a problem, not less.
Absolutely. And I really, it was the Eskridge story that kind of led me to you, because she got into I am just completely fascinated with that story. I do plan on making a documentary one day about it. Maybe when people are a little more comfortable talking about it, because right now the folks in that circle, you try to talk to them about it and they don't want nothing to do with it. And I get it. They watch somebody close to them. The official line is suicide, but that's questionable, especially given all the statements she was making before that. And she was literally getting hit with directed energy weapons. I don't know if you ever saw this video she made, but she was working on an offline computer, right? So no internet access, no network access for safety. And she was sitting there typing on this computer, and they were through the windows hitting her with something that could actually read what she was typing. And she shows her hand, and basically above her wrists are both completely red. And then she covers the windows and it starts going back to normal. But it's like, this stuff is out there and it's being used not just by government, it's being used by private industry, trying to steal information from each other and stuff like that. So
I would imagine the private espionage industry is way more ruthless than the government one, because the government one theoretically is regulated.
100%. And the government one is going to say we're doing this for XYZ, whereas the private ones, we got to get more money, right? We gotta increase the bottom line. So whatever it
And the
takes.
private ones are probably giving money to the government ones when they're not supposed to. And, it probably goes the other way too. What do you know?
Yeah. What a wicked web.
Is the government allowed to engage with third-party contractors in regards to espionage? I wonder.
Why not?
Oh, can we just call them podcasters? Oh, never mind.
Oh, no. There's definitely some
Would
questionable
that
ones.
be a leap of logic?
Have you ever watched? I don't know if you ever watched the Julian Dory podcast, but
I have. He's done a couple
Okay,
of
yeah.
those that are like.
yeah, he's okay. Have you ever seen one of the ones with Andrew Bustamante, the ex-CIA guy?
I've seen Andrew Bustamante before speak. I cannot recall if it was with Julian Dory or not.
Cold-blooded. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Just very like, hey, we can all live in a fairyland and want all this good stuff, blah, 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 blah. But like, here's what actually happens. Here's what actually works. Here's what people do to take advantage of people. Very eye-opening character. And I still don't know if I
The
trust him or
information
not.
that he puts out there. It's super interesting to consider that everything that he puts out's been proved, or he couldn't put it out.
Right? Because otherwise it'd be classified. Yeah. And you find this with magicians too. Like I've interviewed a couple of magicians, the NLP.
Great topic.
Yeah, the NLP. It's creating. So if you can create an alternate reality, then when you do weird things in it, it seems weird. But really, it's normal stuff.
I'm about to blow your mind before I depart. You have no idea what you just touched on. Okay. So magic and clowning are ancient trades, right?
Yeah.
Ancient trades. Is that not like spycraft and espionage? To be able to walk into a room, to grab someone's attention, to bedazzle them. Look over here, but not over there. Isn't this funny? You know the hardest thing in the world is to enter a room and make everybody pay attention to you and laugh.
Yeah.
That's what clowns do.
Yeah.
So if you have a troupe of clowns and a magician that enter a room, they could bedazzle the whole crowd, right? What if they didn't wear their uniforms? Aren't they just agents then that can go into a room and work the room and understand sleight of hand?
Absolutely.
How to get everybody to pay attention over here while we have a guy working over there?
Absolutely.
Okay, you ever hear Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clown College in Florida?
Not the clown college, no.
Okay. Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey have a clown college. There's very famous people have gone there. I think Penn, like Penn and Teller, Statham, the actor. There's a lot of people that have gone to clown college, magician school. Do you know who the first dean of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College was?
Who?
A man by the name of Bill Ballantine. He was a very famous clown, illustrator, one of the most famous clowns ever. You know what Bill Ballantine did prior to being the dean of Clown College and an illustrious career in the circus?
Don't tell me CIA.
Oh, no, not officially. Because Bill Ballantine was the lead propagandist for the OSS and helped create the CIA.
Wow. What in the world, Eric? What does that mean?
Bill Ballantine worked with the federal government during World War II to get the circus subsidized for a morale-boosting campaign. All of the monies that they were making was pocketed because they were wholly subsidized. It was
unbelievable.
Check out Bill Ballantine. Check out his son, Toby Circus Ballantine.
Okay.
It's really funny when people call the CIA the clowns in America.
It's
an ancient trade, clowning, magic. At face value. It's a great trade to be able to travel the world.
Yeah.
Make a buck as you're traveling.
Oh, you can make many bucks.
Also, there's other ways of looking at being a traveling troupe of magicians and clowns. Isn't it funny how historically people used to get kind of bent when the carnival showed up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Carny.
Right.
Can't trust them.
Yes. There was
Were
like
they
that.
Were they clowns and magicians?
Right.
Are these tactics that have been around for a long time?
Man, and we just keep it's weird. It's like the same reason.
Trade craft. These guys literally call it their trade craft.
Yeah.
What's your trade? Cloud around? A little magic trick here and there?
So you think a lot of intelligence folks go through this training one way or another?
Absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. And maybe that's why it's so easy for them to slither their way into these spaces and kind of control or at least manipulate the narrative.
It's also crowd control. So Primerica, we discussed earlier, crowd control.
Yeah.
What are clowns doing? What are magicians doing? It's crowd control.
And
direction.
Insane. See, and that's why I refuse. As much as Chris Ramsey's a good guy, I won't watch his stuff. Because I know that guy's a master of NLP and magicians, and I'm like, oh, but now you're gonna be real with us, and you're gonna tell it. No way.
I've watched some of his. He's called it out too, though. He has said, like, I appreciate what he talks about, the magic and methodology.
Yeah.
He's been honest. He's like, I'm not saying there's no such thing as a UFO thing, and these people didn't see something. He goes, I'm just saying that if you're saying that that's what they saw, and this many people saw it at this angle, I'm just saying there's a methodology to recreate it, and I agree with him.
Yeah, totally. He's a brilliant magician. I mean, so yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I do get good stuff. Like, he has done a couple interviews, but I won't sit there and listen to him have a conversation with the alien letter from 1970 or something. Like, I'm just not ready to go there yet. Because
he is entertaining.
Yes, that's what it is.
That's where I believe it with that.
And that's, like, some of the real experiences in this, they feel like they have to go that route, that entertainment route, because they feel like if they go the documentary straightforward route, they get absolutely no exposure to anything.
What they certainly don't seem to be thoroughly concerned about is truth.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think they're all about, like, whatever is the most liked aspect.
Yeah.
I think therein lies the problem to begin with, is we have all of these people that have no substance, but seem to have a desire to be liked. Welcome to the modern world.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? What
shit will people spew to get more likes on the internet?
Right?
We're just reaching new heights.
We really are. We really are. Especially like the Forbes posting yesterday. What in the world? You're gonna post someone's, like, their picture of their family and stuff, and talk about taking their wife, and folks.
People just need to get in fistfights again. It's just that simple.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah,
we need someone. Take it outside. Like, it just needs to be a normal thing, right?
Like
you got a problem with me?
Like a monthly ex MMA fight in Vegas or something.
Do you guys have Friday night fights in the Army?
Oh yeah, we used to have every night fights in the Army, depending on what was going on. I remember my first introduction to all that craziness was in basic, when this kid kept getting us smoked. And smoked is the term, like, somebody fucks up and so you're all doing push-ups, and finally I woke up in the middle of the night one night. Hey, it's time to I won't say his last name. It's time to get him. And everybody had a pillowcase with a soap bar in it, and everybody, just like in that stupid movie with Gomer Pyle. Yeah, everybody walked by and wham, hit a big whack, and you know what? He didn't get a smoke much after that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. A lot of self-policing in that area for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Eric. Man, this has been fantastic. This is almost 3 hours, just went by like that for me. I really, really enjoy your perception on a lot of this stuff going on right now, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing it with us.
You got it, Gabriel. Thank you for the engaging conversation, and I hope that everything edits well for you. And shoot me a link to it when you get it up, and I'll post it on the website on my end as well. And
I certainly will. We'll get it.
Work.
Yeah, we'll get it cleaned up, and and we'll continue to get this message out, and would love to have you back on sometime.
You got it, Gabriel. Thank you so much for having me, and have an excellent day.
All right. You too, sir. I'll see you around.
Have a great day.
All right. You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.